Welcome to Money Music, where you will learn about the big money in your vinyl records. I'm John Marshall, also known as Mighty John, the record guy from moneymusic.com. With me is the man who personally knows many of the icons in rock and roll, my friend and Maine's legendary lawyer, Derry Rundlett. Are you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready to rock and roll. I think I'm doing better today, Mighty John, because I had a very good breakfast today. So I think I'm ready to go. I did a pretty good job in the last show, and we'll see if I can keep my record going.
All right. Now, at the end of the show, we will tell you how you can get the values for every Elvis, every Beatles record, absolutely free. No purchase necessary. Over 2,000 Elvis records and Beatles records are on the list. This podcast is for record collectors, but more importantly, it's for everyone who seeks out treasures at yard sales, flea markets, estate sales, and thrift stores. Plus, at the end of today's countdown, we're going to tell you how you can get free record appraisals, and we'll answer some emails.
And folks, I just want to say, for those of you that just love rock and roll stories, which might be as many as half of you, that's another reason to listen to this show, because this man, I know many of these people personally, but Mighty has met more than I have because he was an MC at many concerts of the people you'll be hearing about today.
And on today's countdown of 20 records worth up to $100 or more, number one on our list is by fellow recording artist with Elvis in the mid-'50s at Sun Records. Now, Elvis played a fictional character in Jailhouse Rock. What was Elvis's name at Jailhouse Rock?
Oh, boy. Tip of the tongue. Go ahead.
Vince Everett.
Vince Everett. Oh,
Okay.
Yes.
So Elvis played a fictional character in Jailhouse Rock, but these guys were really in jail when they released a record now worth up to $8,000.
No way. Who would that be? Well, we found out at the end. I'm sorry, end of the show. Okay, I'm sorry.
You always want to move.
I always
right
want
to
move
end.
it to the end because I get so excited about it.
Who was the lead singer of the Silver Bullet Band?
Oh, there's Pete Seeger.
Derry says Pete.
I was going to say Bob.
You're right.
Oh, Bob Seeger.
Yeah,
Of course, I said Pete Seeger, but I got Seeger right, Alex. Come on.
Dino, our producer, is
Bob Seeger.
He's
of
moving
course.
up in
Night Moves.
My opinion of.
I know, yeah. Bob Seeger, Night Moves. I got it. Yeah. Okay.
Bob Seger is much part of rock and roll hero in Michigan as Bruce Springsteen is in New Jersey. Singer sounds of hard rock and soul were a staple of the 70s.
Fantastic artist.
His 1979 anthem, Old Time Rock and Roll, is timeless. Seger's first single, East Side Story, is where the money is. It's up to $125 today. The Beatles were number one on the Billboard Hot 100 with Penny Lane. In 1967, when they were knocked out of the top spot by what American band? And I know they are friends of yours.
Oh, my God.
Who knocked the Beatles out of the number one spot that are friends of Derry's?
The Happenings.
No.
The Beach Boys.
It's a sort of a reptile.
Oh, what? Go ahead.
Well, I think they're reptiles.
Yeah.
The Turtles.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I do. I know them not as well as I know some of the others, but I have met the Turtles. And Ron Dante, who does the song Sugar, Sugar, he is now a member of the Turtles on their Happy Together tour. So go ahead.
Led by Mark Volman, the Turtles.
Mark Volman, yes, that's who I know.
They knocked the Beatles out of the top spot with what song?
Happy Together.
Happy Together.
That's why they have the Happy Together tour, folks, which, by the way, is still going on, and it is a wonderful show for anybody who likes that 60s rock and roll. Go ahead.
Happy Together stayed 3 weeks at number one on the Billboard.
And now, presently, a commercial. If you're watching television, it's on a commercial. If it gets what it is, I think it's a car or something, possibly. Go ahead.
Now, the 45 on White Whale Records, that's the label, is worth no more than $20. But the picture sleeve for Happy Together could sell for $200 today.
Yeah.
The most valuable 45 by the Turtles is from 1968. The song was called The Story of Rock and Roll. It's worth up to $800
No way.
with its picture sleeve.
I was going to say Eleanor, but I would have been wrong.
Again. Well,
All for two, I guess, so far.
We know that you know everything about Brenda Lee.
I do.
But do you know everything about Bobby Rydell?
Yes, I do. He was my other dear friend. I attended his funeral, and yeah.
So
very important to me.
Who was the girl group who backed up Bobby Rydell on his early hits?
Oh boy, I'm going to say the Blossoms, but I think I might be wrong.
I guess you don't know everything about Bobby Rydell.
Well, by the way, yeah, go ahead.
All right, the girl group of the 60s, like the Supremes, the Ronettes, and the Crystals, are always collectible, as are lesser-known girl groups such as the Sherrys.
Would not have known that. Bobby would have. But it's funny, when we were together, we didn't talk so much about his music career as much as his personal life, and we would laugh about some of the people but he has quite a history. Bobby Rydell is a very dear friend of mine.
Originally, the Sherrys backed up Bobby Rydell on his early hits, but they had one hit of their own, the Popeye. Do you remember that?
Oh, sure do.
Yes.
That's a great piece of trivia, and thanks for mentioning Bobby Rydell.
Now, the 45 worth up to $40. That same year, Gaiden Records released the album At the Hop by the Sherrys, containing their hit. The album can get you $250 today.
I wonder how many of them might still be alive. A lot of these people, they passed on, but...
yeah. And, over time, different members move in and out of these groups. So,
right.
yeah.
But, of course, we know that Darlene Love was the one who did He's a Rebel as a member of the Blossoms. But now the Crystals, who I do know two of the Crystals, and they now sing that song as well as Darlene did, in my humble opinion. The Crystals are wonderful, really good performance if you see the Crystals. Actually, you see any of the women performances of the 60s. And Diana Ross, I don't mean to digress so much, but Diana Ross was absolutely fantastic.
Now, this group was the most successful instrumental band of the 50s and 60s, along with the Ventures.
Oh, I was going to say the Ventures, along with the Ventures. Oh my God! And I don't know. I can't do it.
Okay. One of the most successful instrumental bands of the late 50s and early 60s was Johnny and the Hurricanes.
Oh, no, wouldn't have guessed it, Mighty. Wouldn't have guessed it.
With Johnny Paris on sax and Paul Teslick playing organ, they churned out hits like Red River Rock.
Oh, Red River Rock, of course.
Beatnik Fly and Reveille Rock.
Yes.
Warwick Records was the album that they were on, Johnny and the Hurricanes. A monocopy worth up to $100, a stereo copy up to $300 today. There were two songs that made number one on Billboard. They were under 2 minutes long. One was Stay.
And the other one's The Letter.
That's very good. Now, who did Stay?
Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs.
Derry, I am so impressed.
I'm on a roll.
I am so impressed with you.
And by the way, I met the Box Tops. That song, The Letter.
Yep.
The lead singer, who was only 18 when he sang that with that deep voice. But I met the Box Tops backstage in Vegas, hung around with them for a while. Very wonderful group. They had a lot of great hits. And that Letter is a 10 out of 10 scale.
In 1967, the Box Tops went all the way to number one with The Letter, thanks to lead singer Alex Chilton.
That's right.
45, no more than $15, but in 1968, the band reached number two with Cry Like a Baby.
Oh, good song. That's a great song.
Clinton said his singing voice was not his natural voice, but a result of too much drinking and lack of sleep. You can identify with him.
Never did much for my voice,
Yeah.
but anyway.
Now, he left the Box Tops in 1970 and formed Big Star, which was commercially unsuccessful, but a heavy influence on bands such as R.E.M. In 1979, Chilton went solo and recorded the album Like Flies on Sherbet. Released on Peabody Records, a copy worth up to $350.
No way.
Yes, $350.
May he rest in peace.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Now, if you get this, Derry, I definitely will wash your car for another month.
Okay, yeah. We're up to about 4 months now. Go ahead.
Who is Percy Thrills Thrillington, and why is his album worth $400?
No clue.
Any idea there, Mr. Dino?
That's negative.
Oh.
Negatory.
This guy is a little-known recording artist. His real name, Paul McCartney.
Oh, whoa.
In 1977, Capitol Records released the Thrillington album by Percy Thrills Thrillington. The album, recorded by Paul McCartney and his wife Linda, is an instrumental version of McCartney's Ram album. Original copy, Thrillington, up to $400 today.
That is unbelievable. That is, folks, boy, this is a reason to listen to the show, whether you buy the records or not. That's a great story about McCartney.
Now, thanks to his piano prowess, George Patton's Third Army let this jazz legend skip the Battle of the Bulge so that he could perform for the Red Cross.
Get out of here.
When you think of a jazz artist, when you don't know that much about jazz, you still think of certain people.
Yeah.
Is anybody particular come to mind?
Louis Armstrong.
Dino, you want to take a shot?
Thunderball Adderley.
Cannonball Adderley, you mean?
Cannonball. Thunderball.
All right, Dino.
Close enough.
Back in your office.
Back in the booth.
Cannonball, Thunderbolt, same thing.
Dave Brubeck.
Oh yes, Dave Brubeck 5. I mean, God, but I should just spit it out when I think it.
Yes, you should. The U.S. Library of Congress designated Dave Brubeck as a living legend. Brubeck was a jazz genius of almost mythical
Take 5,
proportions.
a great song.
See, you know this all the time.
Yes.
And his album, Time Out, released on Columbia Records, $250 in mono, $400 in stereo.
I did not. That's a fantastic story about not having to fight the Battle of the Bulge, which was a horrible, horrible segment of that war. So many men passed away, were injured. Yeah.
Now, spending much of his youth in correctional facilities, you might be able to identify with this guy, Derry.
Well, I represented a few, but I don't recall ever going to one.
He also lived in a hearse and a cave. He's also the man who wrote the classic, "Take This Job and Shove It."
Oh, my God. Yeah, what's his name? Go ahead.
Well, Johnny Paycheck had the hit.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't write it.
Who did it?
Outlaw country is a relatively new term, but David Allan Coe
Oh, no, I never know.
was outlaw country before outlaw country was cool. David Allan Coe's 1970 album, Requiem for a Harlequin, released on SSS International Records, worth up to $450 today. So, Derry, anytime you want to think of taking this law job and shove it, you can think of old David Allan Coe.
I don't think that's what I would say to any employer I was leaving, because every now and then you might need a reference.
You need a lot of references.
Well, not so many anymore because I'm older.
What Motown group had a hit with Beechwood 4, 5, 7, 8, 9?
The Dixie Cups.
Oh, Derry, you disappoint me.
What?
The Marvelettes.
Oh, come on. Dixie Cups Marvelettes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they'd like to hear that from me.
Okay.
Having just talked about the Crystals.
One of the many Motown girl groups was the Marvelettes, perhaps best known for their hit, Please, Mr. Postman.
Yeah, I would have gotten that one. Yeah.
Their second top 10 hit came a year later with Playboy,
Oh, yeah, good song.
which can outsell for $30.
Okay.
Their other hits included Twistin' Postman and Beechwood 4, 5, 7, 8,
Which
9.
was, oh my God, anybody that had that number was getting that call every day.
Their album, Playboy, released on Tamla Records in 1962, is worth up to $500 today. Derry, were you ever featured in Playboy?
No, just photos of me standing in the background. No, but I know who was. You were.
Yes. Had my picture in there and everything with my clothes on. So
Yeah, I would say that's right. I mean, you're the only person I know that's been featured in Playboy. I do mention that when I mention.
Did I tell you that I met the centerfold who was in the issue that I was in?
That story you've never told me. I would like to think that would have been one of the first things you ever mentioned to me, but I did not know that. Go ahead and tell me how that was.
She was very nice.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure.
I told her, I said, anybody can be in Playboy. That's not such a big deal. And she said, what are you talking about? So I flipped it over the section where I'm there, and I said, yeah, take a look at that. She goes, oh, okay, you're right.
So that was your conversation with her?
Yes, yeah. But
yeah, Marty, I love your stories.
She was very nice.
And that's why I like to tell mine, because you always have one that can top me. Go
yes,
ahead.
all right. Now,
and that's a big one right there.
he held the record from 1955 to 1991 for longest time at #1 on the British charts until Bryan Adams topped him in 1991.
Oh, my God.
He played with Elvis.
Played with Elvis. Jeez.
I mean, he didn't play in the band with Elvis, but he played at concerts with Elvis.
I don't
Mentioned him before.
Dwayne Eddy.
Nope.
What?
Slim Whitman.
Oh, no, I never would have guessed that. No.
Slim Whitman, a country folk singer from Florida.
Was that big over there? He was that big over there in England?
Beagle?
No, big.
Oh, big. Yes. Enunciate, Derry. Try that tongue twister. Toy boat, toy boat.
Yeah, I was a disc jockey for a very short period of time. You won all your life, so there, go ahead.
All right. Slim Whitman from Florida, whose 1955 single of Rose Marie
Oh, yeah.
Held the record for longest time at number one on the British charts until Brian Williams topped him. Brian Adams topped him in 1991 with Everything I Do for You.
Oh, sure. Brian Adams was very good.
Slim Whitman's album, America's Favorite Folk Artist, released by Imperial Records, worth up to $500 today. Who, Derry, was the number one best-selling recording artist of the entire 20th century?
Best-selling recording artist? Single?
Yeah.
Of the 20th century. I'm going to say Taylor Swift, but anyway.
I think she's more in the 21st century.
Oh, that's true.
Derry, I know you're still in the 20th
I'm
century.
still in the 20th century, folks. Quite a ways back.
I know. I thought you were going to say Elvis, but
I was going to say Elvis, but I know that's not right. Go ahead.
Madonna.
Oh, whoa.
Madonna has sold over 300 million records, and there doesn't seem
Get
to be
outta
any
here.
end in sight.
You know, I have her autograph. I collect autographs of famous people, and I have her autograph, and I didn't think that was worth that much. Well, now I'm going to keep it.
Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2012, Madonna is the number one best-selling recording artist of the 20th century.
Well deserved.
In 1983, Sire Records released her album Like a Virgin.
Oh, yeah.
With over 21 million sold, it became her first number one album. A white vinyl copy is worth up to $125 today. Find it as a 12-inch single white vinyl, and you're looking at $550.
And I will say, my dear friend Madonna, I don't know her, I just say that facetiously, she set the stage for Taylor Swift. And I've been to 3 Madonna concerts. 2 of them were G-rated, and one of them was as close to X-rated as I've ever seen it. Definitely, absolutely R-rated. And the audience was full of young kids, and she was doing some pretty provocative things on stage. I found it very entertaining.
Of course.
Yeah. But some people, they walked out with their kids, but these girls were all dressed like Madonna and stuff. But it was quite a provocative show. And, of course, she did a movie about it, as you know, and Warren Beatty's backstage all the time. Go ahead, Madonna.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this recording artist, who we're speaking of now, was found dead in his car on the Long Island Expressway. His group's biggest hit was the 1961 smash, Daddy's Home. Who's the group?
Oh, don't know.
James Shepard was the lead singer for
didn't know that.
Was the lead singer for 2 popular doo-wop groups of the early rock and roll era. In 1956, he led the Heartbeats on 1,000 Miles Away.
Yeah.
An original copy on a black record label can now sell for $300. In 1961, he formed Shep and the Limelights.
Yes.
And hit big with Daddy's Home.
Yes, that's right.
The group would chart 5 more times before James Shepard was found dead in his car on the Long Island Expressway. Murder. In 1960,
What?
Yes, he was killed.
Oh, my goodness.
In 1962, Hull Records released the album Our Anniversary by Shep and the Limelights.
Jeez.
It's worth up to $750 today.
Oh.
What was the first American band to rack up 8 gold record albums in a row?
Beach Boys.
No.
4 Seasons.
No.
Okay, move on.
Led by that charismatic frontman, Jim Morrison,
Oh, The Doors?
The Doors
Oh, my goodness. No, never would have guessed them.
had many accomplishments, including being the first American band to pick up 8 gold record albums in a row. The first album, simply called The Doors, containing their massive hit, Light My Fire.
And by the way, folks, if you get to see coming up on Netflix or whatever, HBO, Val Kilmer is Jim Morrison in the movie about the Doors and about Jim Morrison. By the way, I've been to Jim Morrison's grave in Paris, France, and people will go there and drink, and they do graffiti everywhere. The Doors, incredible group.
Well, their massive hit, Light My Fire, released by Elektra Records in 1967.
7 minutes long.
The 45 on a gold Elektra label can now sell for $100.
Yeah.
A stereo copy of the album is worth no more than $25, but a mono copy of the Doors album up to $750 today.
No way. I'll tell you, I played Jose Feliciano's version when I worked at a middle-of-the-road station, and because it was slow, and I did Sinatra and people like that, and Bing Crosby. And the manager of the station said, "Don't ever play that song." I said, but it was slow. And he goes, well, I know what it's about. I went, okay. Light my fire.
Light my fire. All right, this country music superstar was just 13 when she had her first record. I mean, superstar.
Brenda Lee.
Oh, my goodness. You know, Derry, I don't drink, but I might start.
You open the door, and I'm telling you, I'm going to every chance I get.
She was one of Johnny Carson's favorite guests.
Oh, go ahead. Joan Rivers, I don't know.
Dolly Parton.
Oh, yes, Dolly Parton, of course.
That's no fun.
I didn't realize, by the way, I didn't realize she started at 13.
Yeah.
I did know Brenda did, but I didn't know that Dolly Parton did.
Dolly Parton, best known for the hit "I Will Always Love You."
Oh, yeah, my God.
Which is also a smash for Whitney Houston.
Yes,
Elvis
yes.
wanted to record it, but the Colonel wouldn't pay for the rights.
No way.
Yes.
No way. The Colonel, he was, Tom Hanks did a good job playing him, but I didn't like the man very much.
Dolly was one of 12 children from a poor Tennessee family. Many of her hits, like "Coat of Many Colors," reflect her meager upbringing. At 13, her first record, "Puppy Love," not the same Paul Anka Puppy
Yeah,
Love.
right.
"Puppy Love" was released by Gold Band Records, the record worth up to $750 today.
Oh.
Everybody likes Dolly. Is there anybody that
I
does?
was just going to say, is there anybody that doesn't love that woman when she, in the movie 9 to 5, and everything she says and everything she does, is just a wonderful, wonderful human being and has a great amusement park. I actually went to it once. It was pretty cool.
Now, Dino, I know Derry has no idea about this one, but I expect you to know this, so don't let me down. With sales of more than 150 million records, this Irish rock band has been awarded 22 Grammys.
You too.
You know that!
Oh, my goodness, Derry. You beat me to the punch.
Derry, you are full of surprises. You're full of a lot of stuff, but surprises is certainly one of them.
I'm sorry, Dino. But I pushed the button first. Thank you, Alex.
Now, Dino, you knew that, right?
No,
I did know that.
I believe
seen
you knew
them
it.
several times.
No doubt.
One of my favorite bands from way back then.
All right.
Oh, my God, Bono. Is there anything better? By the way, he wrote a song for Roy Orbison called "Mystery Girl." It is, I say, Orbison's best song ever. It came to Bono in a dream. He wrote it, sent it to Orbison. "Mystery Girl." Unbelievable song. Go ahead.
All right, lead singer of U2, Bono, has also spent much of his fortune and time campaigning for human rights and AIDS research. Best known for their album...
The Streets Have No Name.
No. The Joshua Tree.
Oh, yeah.
Best known for The Joshua Tree. From 1987. Their most collectible albums are the less known Two Sides Live, released to college radio by Warner Brothers in 1981, now worth up to $350, and War is Declared, a 2-record set for NBC in 1983. That can sell for $800 today. Bono, great guy.
Yes. He is such a piece of work, I'll tell you. He's really just an incredibly talented man, deep, deep.
Shoeshine Boy from Georgia grew up to be one of the most famous and successful performers of all time.
Sammy Davis Jr.
No. And don't say the chiffons, because I'm not...
No. The Shirelles.
Shoeshine Boy from Georgia.
Yeah.
Known as the Godfather of Soul,
James Brown.
James Brown.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He gave you your money's worth if you saw him in concert.
Oh, unbelievable.
Which I did, or if you purchased any of his records.
Did you see him in concert?
Yes. Fabulous. You know, if they come out and throw that cape over him. It's great.
What was not? By the way, the movie about him. Oh my God Almighty, folks! What an amazing character in rock and roll history.
All right, 1960, King Records released the album James Brown and his famous Flames Think, a copy that features several pictures of James Brown on the cover, worth up to $100. But a copy that shows a baby on the cover can get you $800 today.
There you go.
Little things make a big difference.
Little things mean a lot.
And all described in Mighty John's Record Appraisal Guide, available at moneymusic.com. What early 1960s top 10 hit was by Yvonne Baker and the Sensations?
Yvonne Baker, 66.
Ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
I'm doing a poor job on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me in.
Oh, let me in. Oh, yes.
Let me out.
Yeah.
Yvonne Baker and the Sensations began their career in 1955. It would be 6 years before they hit big with that Let Me In, which reached number 4 on Billboard. In 1963, Argo Records released the album Let Me In. It's worth up to $400 today. But in 1967, Yvonne Baker went solo with You Didn't Say a Word. Released on Parkway Records, that 45 could get you $1,000 today. This is a good one for you, Derry. Let's see you thinking about this. Are you awake over there?
I'm awake.
All right.
I'm listening.
Until Elvis came along, this guy was the biggest selling recording artist for RCA.
This guy was the biggest. No clue.
It is generally believed that the most popular big band leader of the 30s and 40s was Tommy Dorsey.
Was that the answer?
Yes.
I never would have guessed that.
Well, it doesn't surprise me at all. Until Elvis came along, Dorsey was RCA's biggest selling recording star. Ironically, it was Tommy's brother Jimmy who highlighted Elvis in his TV show for 6 consecutive weeks from 1956. In 1945, Vogue Records released a picture disc, Cocktails for Two, featuring Tommy Dorsey. It's worth up to $1,000 today.
Well, I need to throw this into the audience. If you ever saw the movie The Godfather, Michael Corleone is talking to his wife, and he talks about a scene where the Godfather gets a man to let a certain recording artist out of a contract, which was a subtle reference to Frank Sinatra. And that would have been Tommy Dorsey, because he had Frank Sinatra in a contract. And Michael Corleone says he made him an offer he couldn't refuse. It was
I may be wrong.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
But
Am I wrong?
I don't know. I thought it was El Martino.
Well, no, Al Martino played the part in the movie The Godfather, but he was the story. It was Frank Sinatra and Tom Dorsey.
Well, our very astute listeners will probably email us or send us a comment on our podcast and let us know which one of us is right or wrong.
I'm pretty sure I'm right because I am friends with Gianni Russo, who was actually in the movie. Go ahead.
Okay. Who first sang, "Come on, baby, let the good times roll"?
No clue.
No clue? Do you know the song?
I do know.
All right. Let the Good Times Roll was the first hit, 1956, for Shirley and Lee. True rock and roll classic. It's been covered numerous times by a multitude of recording artists, including the Righteous Brothers, the Searchers, Roy Orbison, and even Barbra Streisand. But the ultimate version is still the first. The single on the Aladdin label could outfetch $50. The album, Let the Good Times Roll by Shirley and Lee, up to $1,000 today. Now, before we get to number 1 on today's countdown, we're going to tell you how you can get free record appraisals. Just limit your list to 3, though, so we can get as many people on as possible. Just email your list to mightyjohn1971@gmail.com and put podcast appraisals in the subject line. If you don't, you'll be charged. So put podcast appraisals in the subject line. List the title, the recording artist, and the name of the record label. We really want to hear from you, so send in for your free appraisals. Now, we're going to do Derry's free appraisals.
My free appraisal. And by the way, I just want to say, folks, this show is sponsored by my TV show, the Rundlett and Baldacci Report. I've had interviews with many famous people, including Gianni Russo, some John Alite, who was in the Gambino family, which ran the streets of New York back in the day. John Alite was an enforcer and featured on the TV show Fear City on Netflix. But Mighty, my record today is by a man that I think is one of the greatest of all time. So do other people agree. The musical about him is selling out everywhere. He wrote his own music, his own lyrics, and became the biggest concert artist in American history for quite some time. His name, Neil Diamond. And I picked his song Cherry Cherry #1 in my Classic 100. And this album is called Neil Diamond Classics, the early years, featuring Kentucky Woman, Solitary Man, Cherry Cherry, I'm a Believer, which he wrote for the Monkees. I Got the Feeling, Shiloh, And by the way, words and music by Neil Diamond, but produced by two famous people of the Brill Building, Jeff Berry and Ellie Greenwich. What do we got here, Mighty John?
After all that, Derry,
Nothing.
$10.
Seriously?
Yes. You brought in another Neil Diamond album a while back, and we're highly disappointed then, too. You think you would have learned. Gee.
Folks, hey, listen, I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun when he says your record's worth $50 or something. When he says it's worth less than what you paid for it, that's pretty bad. Go
You
ahead.
should have quit with that Revolver album by the Beatles. You were on a roll then. All right,
Yeah, that's what I was. I think you said $40 for that one.
Shirley from Cincinnati writes in, wants to know the value of Poor Little Fool by Ricky Nelson.
Oh, good question out there. Oh,
All right, we're going to let you appraise. What do you think? Poor Little Fool by Ricky Nelson, what's it worth?
I'm going to say $50.
You're somewhere in between.
Okay.
Released on Imperial Records in 1958, a copy with a black label worth up to $20, but if the label is red, up to $200.
Oh, there you go. Well, what a good question coming from her.
Yes. How about Judy's Turn to Cry?
Oh, Leslie Gore, her follow-up to It's My Party. Yes.
All right.
I unfortunately, I'm going to say not much.
Well, released in 1963 on Mercury Records, the single is worth up to $25.
Yeah.
The picture sleeve worth up to $50.
Okay.
Leslie Gore.
Actually met Leslie Gore, didn't become friends with her, but had a chance to have a conversation with her. By the way, I called her when I was in college. I got through to her dormitory floor, and when they asked who was calling, I gave them my name, and she goes, she doesn't want to talk to you. And I go, how do you know? She doesn't even know who I am.
That's why she's crying. Leslie's turn to cry. She has to talk to Derry.
Yeah, she passed away, by the way, folks.
Yes, she did.
Very talented.
Supergirl.
woman. Very talented.
Who sang? And I know you know. Can't you see that she's mine?
It's a long, long time. Go ahead. I don't know.
Oh, you knew too.
I do. No, I don't.
Dave Clark 5.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. It wouldn't have taken me. I would have gone searches and Bo Brummels and all that stuff all the way down the list.
All right. Well, Shirley, released on Epic Records in 1964. Single up to $20. Add another $20 for the picture sleeve. Sam Phillips grew tired of trying to track down some of the people who missed their recording sessions. So he found a group where he knew he could always find them. Jail.
That's true. Yeah.
Perhaps the most unusual group to record for Sam, the man who discovered Elvis, was the Prisonaires.
Oh, yes.
They just happened to be inmates at the Tennessee State Penitentiary in Nashville.
Right. They mentioned that in the movie. Yes, go ahead.
Their biggest hit came in 1953 with Just Walkin' in the Rain, which later became a million seller for Johnny Ray.
That's right.
The Prisonaires version can now sell for $400. The Prisonaires' most valuable record, There Is Love in You, released on Sun Records, now worth up to $8,000.
Imagine those guys were serving hard time in a Tennessee prison, and their record is now worth $8,000. I just find that so...
And Sam had them bust right into the Sun Studios, recorded this song, and then bust them right back.
I think that yes, and they show them in the movie. I think it's the Elvis movie they show those guys.
So remember, you can find the values for all your records at moneymusic.com. And if you email me, mightyjohn1971@gmail.com, we will send you the values for every Elvis and every Beatles record free. No purchase necessary. Over 2,000 Elvis and Beatle records are on the list. Just state in your email that you heard the podcast, and you tell Derry and I when we're right and when we're wrong, and if we agree with you, we'll mention it.
Yes, 40 million people can't be wrong. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and send your list for free record appraisals. My email address is always posted on the homepage at moneymusic.com.
Go, Mighty John, go! Go, Mighty John, go!